Hello friends and viewers, and welcome to my Team Meteor character guide. If you are just here for a quick reference, I've created a pocket guide for the beginning of the video. Team Meteor's trait is Resolute Will of Meteor. They gain a passive increase to their attack, defense, and HP, and they gain stacks of fat storage at the start of battle. Each stack of fat storage provides a physical and magical shield equal to 10% HP up to 10 stacks. When either shield type is broken, all fat storage stacks are removed. They gain 3 stacks of fat storage after performing a non-instant active attack, and after actively dispelling fat storage, Team Meteor will regain 3 stacks and recover 1 energy. The table shows Team Meteor's power gains at each star level. Notably, they will see the most power gains at star level 3 and star level 5. Their initial skill is Righteous Hammer of Unity. This is a 2 energy cost, 0 turn cooldown skill. It deals 130% single target damage and knocks the target back by 1 tile. Team Meteor will gain 2 stacks of fat storage after attacking. This is a fair skill for early Voyager progression, but will be succeeded by stronger options later in their skill tree. At rank 1, your options are Battlefield Snack of Morale or Righteous Lightning Ambush. Battlefield Snack of Morale is an instant single target heal, recovering 25% of the target's HP. When cast on Team Meteor themselves, they gain a damage reduction 3 buff for 3 turns. When cast on allies, this will dispel all fat storage stacks and transfer to the target. Recall that at higher star levels, Team Meteor will regain stacks of fat storage and recover energy when actively dispelling fat storage, which Battlefield Snack of Morale will trigger. Righteous Lightning Ambush is an instant single target charge, dealing minor damage and knocking the target back by 1 tile. As an instant damaging skill, this can be used to enable certain weapon and or passive skill effects. Both skills veer towards different playstyles: Battlefield Snack of Morale for supportive play and Righteous Lightning Ambush for more aggressive play. Pick whichever you'll be more comfortable with. If you cannot decide, consider selecting based on the HP or defense stat gain. My pick here is Righteous Lightning Ambush. At rank 3, I recommend Cooperation Division of Labor with the Convallaria for Flash of Brilliant Wisdom. With Cooperation Division of Labor, Team Meteor will have increased attack, defense, range, and movement based on their fat storage stacks, doubling effects when they have 5 or more fat storage stacks. Flash of Brilliant Wisdom is an instant skill with a 3-turn cooldown, gaining 4 stacks of fat storage as well as crit 2 and crit damage 2 buffs. All effects last for 2 turns. This may be helpful to set up burst single target damage in a short window, useful for boss encounters. Fat storage management is a build and spend cycle, and keep in mind that Team Meteor becomes more proficient at building fat storage stacks at higher star level. Flash of Brilliant Wisdom may see less usage in a physical damage build, but can still be used in a magical damage build. Consider a Convallaria for this if you wish. At rank 5, I recommend Comfortable Fat Reserve. With Comfortable Fat Reserve, while unharmed, Team Meteor gains bound resistance at the end of each turn, removing bound effects and gaining bound immunity. And they will also gain 1 stack of fat storage. Because Comfortable Fat Reserve generates fat storage, this reaction skill has both offensive and defensive properties. While it does require Team Meteor to be at 100% HP, fat storage's physical and magical shields should be supporting their unharmed uptime. Front defense decreases active damage taken from the front by 30%. This can help both their fat storage shield uptime and damage mitigation when fat storage is down, but Comfortable Fat Reserve will be more purposeful for general play and to better learn the character. At rank 7, I recommend Victory Meteor Piercing the Sky with the Convallaria for Stylish Confident Strike. Victory Meteor Piercing the Sky is Team Meteor's signature ability. They will perform a charge in a cross-shaped range, deal 160% single target damage, knock the target back by 2 tiles, and dispel all their fat storage stacks. If collision occurs after knockback, both characters will be stunned, but for Team Meteor, this should be mitigated by Comfortable Fat Reserve. Additionally, this skill will do more damage and have greater range and knockback distance based on fat storage stacks. As for Stylish Confident Strike, notice that this skill deals magical damage, scaling with Team Meteor's physical attack. This skill has additional effects based on Team Meteor's fat storage stacks. After attacking, this skill will remove the corresponding fat storage stacks based on the effects activated. Learn both skills and switch to the appropriate skill wherever physical or magical damage are more valuable. At rank 9, I recommend Hot Grilled Meat Impact. Hot Grilled Meat Impact adds a charge and knockback to Team Meteor's basic attack. In scenarios where the charge and knockback utilities may be a hindrance, you still have the option to swap back to their initial basic attack. Armor Piercing Strike inflicts defense 1 debuffs after attacking. This loses value the more defense debuffs you have in your character roster. At rank 11, I recommend Remarkable Tonnage Worth Boasting. Remarkable Tonnage Worth Boasting has several properties. 1. It is a passive skill that deals an additional 70% physical damage to non-instant active attacks against enemies with knockback immunity. 2. When actively knocking back targets, knockback distance is increased by 1 tile. And 3. If a collision occurs upon knockback, it will deal an additional 70% physical damage to colliding enemies. Fair Duel of Many Against Few will dispel all debuffs on themselves as well as all buffs on the targeted enemy. If Team Meteor has 10 stacks of fat storage when attacking, they will dispel all stacks and gain a bulky damage reduction 9 buff for 1 turn. If they have less than 10 stacks of fat storage, this skill's cooldown is reset. The buff and debuff cleansing utility of Fair Duel of Many Against Few is always helpful, but as an energy spender, it contests with Team Meteor's rank 7 skills. It has a shorter range and will deal less damage than Victory Meteor Piercing the Sky. The damage reduction 9 buff will make them exceptionally tanky for 1 turn, but strictly from a damage and utility perspective, you should get more mileage from Remarkable Tonnage Worth Boasting. This build focuses on Victory Meteor Piercing the Sky as the core energy spender, with Remarkable Tonnage Worth Boasting and Cooperation Division of Labor as supporting passives. Try to regularly trigger collision damage for optimal damage output. Recall that Team Meteor's self-stun will be immunized with Comfortable Fat Reserve. This build uses Stylish Confidence Strike as the core energy spender, with Flash of Brilliant Wisdom and Cooperation Division of Labor as supporting skills. You may opt for this build in scenarios where magical damage is more preferable or advantageous than physical damage. Line up Flash of Brilliant Wisdom with Stylish Confidence Strike casts. For weapon recommendations, Barbecue Hammer is Team Meteor's Astral Imprint. Given their long-range charge attacks, they should regularly be able to trigger the additional physical attack increase. Tuning Hammer is always a fine, consistent option for the physical attack increase and added dispel utility. Feast Axe comes out ahead on single target damage, but you want to be mindful of Feast Axe's conditional trigger. Team Meteor is one of the few units who can effectively use Denial Hammer for both damage and utility functions. Denial Hammer will increase the damage of Victory Meteor Piercing the Sky, Hot Grilled Meat Impact, and Righteous Lightning Ambush. For trinket recommendations, because of Team Meteor's physical and magical shield uptime through fat storage, they can effectively make use of Shield of Justice and Cage Mask for the attack and defense increases. Otherwise, Origin Hourglass is a fine option for the attack increase. The movement and speed debuff immunities are also helpful to protect their long movement and relatively high speed. Spring Pill is a fair option to add some self-sustain on the front line, and it is also helpful to maintain unharmed status for comfortable fat reserve. For tarot recommendations, Hierophant's Laws is a good option to directly increase single target damage, assuming you roll the additional effect. Verdict of Justice is a good option for the crit and crit damage increases. The Fool's Naivety will increase Team Meteor's fat storage shield ceiling, while also granting a damage increase when their max HP and percentage HP are greater than their target. For engravings, Sword and Wand remains the best engraving combination for the attack and defense increases after moving. As discussed thus far, Team Meteor's skill kit revolves around knockbacks. Take advantage of terrain by either knocking enemies off the map or at the very least, triggering collision damage. While Fat Storage provides both physical and magical shields, it may also be helpful to view Fat Storage as a secondary resource like energy. The build and spend cycle of Fat Storage is a core part of Team Meteor's playstyle. Lastly, Team Meteor is part of the Papal States and Fortitude categories. Consider building a team with them using Karis's or Magnus's Leader's auras. For a quick overview of external category buffs, Karis offers a strong aura to increase damage dealt and reduce damage taken. Team Meteor will require external support to meet the required buff count. Magnus's Blood and Steel decreases damage taken when healthy and immunizes Team Meteor against the negative effects of injured. That concludes this character guide. If you have any feedback to share with me, please leave a comment below. I'm open to listening and being wrong. I'm another player improving and learning more about Sword of Convallaria just like you are. Remember, If you find conflicting information to other guides or content creators, then that means there are multiple ways to build a character and still achieve success. Finally, my social media contacts are displayed here to connect with me as well. Last but not least, I want to credit and shout out these resources for helping me put together this character guide. Voyage Memento for character build samples and reference links, the No Potion fan site for skill images and skill descriptions, and the Billy Game site for character art assets. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.